right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Brand Builder TV, where we want to share with you how to brand and market in 2020, not 2004. What a big difference that we're going into 2020. So many resources at our disposal. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a commission salesperson, it doesn't matter. You have to brand yourself first, and your business will follow. It's flip-flop from 2004. And I'm excited about this episode. I know that we connected through mutual contact that saw me on stage speaking, so very excited. I know that you have a lot of things going on. So Virginia, I'm just going to read your quick bio and then have you kind of give us a 30,000 foot view, and we're going to chop it down. How's that sound?
Yeah. Sounds great. Thank you.
Virginia Rodriguez. So, publisher at E.P.I.C, Empowering People, Inspiring Community, E.P.I.C, North County, Conscious Living Magazine, Carlsbad. I used to live in Carlsbad. I live in Fallbrook now. Give us that 30,000 foot view. Then we're going to chunk it down a little bit. Then we're going to get into the branding and marketing and some of the things that you're doing.
Okay, great. Sure. So we are a Conscious Living magazine, and it's a full-color glossy magazine that is distributed free throughout North County, North County, San Diego.
Okay.
And let's see, we publish every 2 months, and we publish educational articles on health, sustainability, and spirituality. And we empower people and inspire a community by giving a voice to the community. All of our articles are written by the community for the community. Our advertisers are largely local. And so it's a great way to get to know your neighbors and to shop local. Our readers love to shop local and love to work with socially responsible businesses. And that's who we highlight in our magazines.
Oh, I love it. So give us a definition of Conscious Living magazine. What does that mean to you? What is that definition?
That means it's also, to me, it's synonymous with socially responsible, with the topics that we cover: health, sustainability, spirituality. It's with, to me, conscious is making conscious choices every day to do better for yourself, your family, your community, and to not just, have your blinders on and isolate yourself and say, I'm just going to do this for me because I need more of this. And it's more about thinking about your impact on the world and for future generations, and even for this generation. There's a lot that we can do right now to have a better life for ourselves and for everyone around us.
Okay, great. Yeah. So really what it comes down to as well, it sounds like to me, is integrity, right?
Yeah.
And doing the right things for the right reasons to better yourself and wherever you've been, leave that a better place if at all possible.
Yes, that's great. I agree.
Yeah, I love it. We mentioned universe a little bit, so that's definitely going to be up our alley when it comes to the spiritual world. And it's interesting, we talk about branding and marketing in 2020 versus 2004, and I'd love to hear your take on. And I just use 2004 not for any other reason that it just jumps out at me, but there's no particular reason that I use 2004 except that it's been such a gap, right, in the evolution. And we can even say 2008, we can say 2010, the evolution is so fast and quick that we could probably use a year ago. But coming into 2020, what are some of the things that you're starting to see some of your businesses, sponsors, and people that write articles for you? Are you seeing any type of change or shift in how they're branding and marketing?
Yes, actually I am. And it's funny that you mentioned as of 2004. I've been in marketing since the late 80s.
Okay.
And so I came up in LA, and in LA, the big billboards all over town were, "You can rest when you're dead." And right. And that was just how we all were. We were just running in the race. And what I'm seeing and really enjoying seeing is that businesses are really looking at it for sustainable and longevity, and not just go, 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 push, push, push. And they really are thinking about not only who is my ideal client, but how do they feel and how can I support them and how can I help them? And to me, that's super exciting. And I think that everyone grows in the process, and businesses grow. I think they have a much better chance of longevity by thinking that way and long term. And back when I was in business school, that was one of the things that we talked about, is that way back then, I don't know now what it's like now, but Japan overtook the US in the car market. So that was the big thing that we were studying. And they were doing their 5-year plans and their 10-year plans and their 15-year plans. And whereas in the US, we're just like, okay, we're going to do this now. We're doing our 1-year plan. Let's make the most profits that we possibly can. So it's wonderful and exciting to me to see that people are thinking in long terms. And they are thinking about their impact on their local community, as well as their state, country, the world. And the other thing that's really smart about that, hopefully they're doing it from their heart, but the other side of that, that makes smart business sense, is that millennials are doing things like saying, I am not going to go work for your company, or I'm not going to invest in it, or I'm not going to buy your product if I don't think that you're socially responsible. So I'm super proud of the millennials for doing that.
Yeah, I agree with you. One of the things that I want to really talk about is, especially because of the experience you've had, and for me, I'm dating myself here. You know, I've started my first business in 1995, and I've built and sold a few businesses over the years, and also crashed one to the ground. But the difference that I've really saw since the impact of social media, for sure, is how powerful your personal brand is now versus how it was before. There's no need for an actual resume anymore. They look at your social media, right? I have two business associates that between the both of them have $750 million. Both companies combined are worth about $750 million, right? And they both said at different times that they look at, when they go to hire people in the interview process, they look at their social media. They don't look at their resume. They look at because your social media is who you are now. So interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yes, so I used to hire people based on the personal interaction. And so it's kind of an extension of that. Instead of saying, what did you actually put on paper? And did you hire someone to put that on paper for you? Or, I just want to know, how articulate are you? And so looking at their social media is another way of doing that.
Yeah, and articulate, and what I think is even the most important is authentic.
Yes.
And to me, that's the difference now in the world we live in. I do keynote speaking around the country, and 15 years ago, nobody even thought it was possible that you had a three-piece suit, right? Unless you looked a certain way.
Right.
And it's a game. The game has changed in such a great way. I mean, one of the highest paid keynote speakers around the world, Gary Vee, walks on stage. I think he gets $120,000 a talk now, and he walks on stage with a hoodie, sneakers, and skinny jeans.
Right.
And has a $300 million company in Manhattan. Yeah, it's such an awesome time that we live in, between the authenticity, bringing your flavor, which now you talked about this, right? Now will attract organically your ideal clientele.
That's right.
Right? It starts to do that organically, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think by showing up
Mhm.
and by really embodying what you stand for, that's what's going to attract the people to you. And that's what the people have, both are the people who write the articles for our magazine and advertise in our magazine.
Mhm.
They are aligning themselves with a magazine that stands for empowering people, inspiring community, and educating our community about sustainability, health, and spirituality. So anyone who's in there already, the reader, the client knows, okay, they're thinking like these are like minds. And so they're
Mhm.
already attracted to that.
Mhm.
And so, and just even the fact that they would actually participate in a community magazine shows that they care about their community.
Yes.
And so they know these certain things about them. And by when they write the article, it needs to be educational. It can't be advertorial. It can't be like, come visit me because I'm great. It's like, I want to offer you something. And they give them education. So as we know, with email marketing and with social media marketing, if you're just about, look at how I am, no one's going to pay. That's boring, right? But
Mhm.
if you're like, okay, here's something I want to teach you, like what you do. I want to teach you these things. This is what I've learned in my life and I want to teach you. And so people are drawn to you because of that, because you're showing up, you're authentic, and you have something to give. And that's what I'm noticing. So it's no longer about, well, here's this, like you said, the slickness.
Mhm.
No one cares, and maybe that could even be a turnoff.
Mhm.
But it's not about any of that. It's like, who are you really? What do you really stand for? That's what I want to know. Whether you're
Yeah.
a big company or a small company or a solo entrepreneur, any of those things, I want to know, what do you really stand for?
And I personally think it goes even
It goes
deeper
even
than that.
deeper than
Now,
that. Now,
people want to know and are so interested in what are some of the struggles that you went through and got to the other end, whether it's the business or your personal or combined, right? When I speak from stage, the introduction, and I have to, a lot of times I have to tell the event planner, do not skip over this. I've had event planners skip over it. Dave Daly, Monster Motivator, built and sold 3 companies in 3 different industries, and also crashed one to the ground. And I say, do not, and I put it in highlight, right, red, crashed one to the ground, because when I coach clients, when I share my information, my content, that window of time that I crashed that business to the ground, there's not a university in this world that could have taught me what I learned
Right?
from that window of time. It's just
Uh,
not, right? That's where so much of my value comes from. Been there, done it, fell down, got back up, wiped myself off. And that's what I think that's why I started this show, because people want to get behind that black curtain. And the
that's
more
right.
you take them behind that black curtain, the stronger that bond is. And our tagline is brand loyalty is king, because it maps the trust.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have you talk about that, because ultimately that's really the definition of your magazine, right? Brand loyalty is king because it maps the trust.
That's exactly right. And that's what I, when I help our local businesses to reach out to the community and to gain more customers and clients, I talk to them about that and say that that's where you get your brand recognition and brand loyalty, is by talking to your audience,
Yeah.
by showing up and telling your story and telling different aspects of your story and the real thing, not the crafted one. Everyone is very savvy now, right? And so they know.
Yeah.
It's interesting, Dave, because we have a lot of parallels in our backgrounds. So I started my first company in 1994. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Also, I've crashed more than one to the ground. And I was in a major accident and had a near-death experience. So it's kind of amazing that the parallels. So we each have a lot to offer to the people who come to us just through those experiences. And not only that, but by sharing those experiences, we give them permission to share their own experiences. Because
Oh,
I'm sure you remember, right, back in the 90s, that was not legal. You don't bring your personal self into it. Right?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People were terrified of doing that. But let's let's even go deeper on what you just said about, sharing your real story. And what I tell people is, listen, whatever it is that you went through, you were bad enough to make it through the other side. Now it's your obligation to share that and wear those scars with pride, because there are plenty of people that are going through that now, right? And you don't know who you're going to impact. And here's the other thing that it does. It's unbelievable therapy, right? You become bulletproof. Now you're out there, right? Now you're like, now the weight of the world is off of you, right? Your self-image just became bulletproof because you have nothing to hide and you're putting out there. And then you find out that not only is it a great thing internally, but now you're just attracting the right audience, the right tribe, the right community for your flavor.
That's exactly right. That is absolutely right. And the magazine is we came out with our first issue May, June of 2019. So
Okay.
we're still brand new. And we moved from 24 pages to 32 pages for our January, February issue. And we have been attracting everyone that when I started the magazine, I said I wanted to attract. And it's just because, like you said, I go out there and I say, this is what I'm doing. This is who I am. And all of a sudden, there's all kinds of people that are in the same, that have been in the same position or are going through something and, have the same kinds of questions, and we can share our insights and, how can I authentically reach my audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we found each other also, you and I.
Yeah.
It's like, it just happens. Like we started off with, the universe is just making it happen. You set your intentions, you put it out there, and you show up. I keep saying you show up because that's the most important thing, I think, is just to show up.
It is. And the other thing too is because now in the practical part of this, when you're talking about the branding and the marketing 2020 and 21, 22, 23, video is only going to get bigger, right? Video and audio is only going to get bigger. So one of the things that I tell people is, if they're afraid to do that video, right? Or
Right.
they're doing 15 takes and they're still not happy with it, and they're torturing themselves. I say, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched a movie and at the end they add in the bloopers, right?
Yeah.
How many people leave during the bloopers? Zero, right?
True.
Zero. It's entertainment and it's a connection. So,
Yeah.
that takes the weight off of people when you start to think of it that way. Bloopers are the greatest. They're the
Yeah.
greatest. We're human.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
human, and when you can wrap your mind around that, it just takes so much pressure off. And the other thing that I'm a big fan of too is and I love your take on this, is being able to identify, enhance your weaknesses with the people and the systems, so you could triple down on your strengths. So I know, I think I've even mentioned this to you about the article is, look, I'd rather have root knowledge than write a paragraph.
Right.
But turn a camera on, right?
Yeah.
Or an audio, and just let me go. Now that's my world, right? So
That's right.
if you really are that writer and that blogger, that's okay. Now you could just find the people that love that camera, and now, collaborate with them if it really is that much of an issue. Like, I wrote my book in 2016. In 32 days, we had it on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, but I didn't write one word of that. I audioed everything over to my writer, my publisher, and that was it, right? If I had to write the book, there would be no book.
Exactly.
So I think I'd love to have you speak on that. I mean, enhancing those weaknesses.
Yes, and I think it's a combination. I think definitely outsourcing when you can. That's big. And the other thing is, so I actually hate being on video. And I do it. So I love the advice that you gave. And that's actually a great new perspective. For me, what gets me to do it is that I am so passionate about my message. And so that I just focus on that. And now, how am I looking? I'm not wearing makeup. I didn't do my hair. What is someone going to think about what I'm saying? It's just, I just don't even think about any of that. I think about, this is my message and I want to get it out, and I'm very passionate about it, and I'm excited about it. And so I'm willing to do video to do that.
Yeah.
And so I think that those are two great approaches that you take, and the advice that you give, that sometimes when you just absolutely can't do it, then you outsource it, but you're participating still. It's your stamp on it. And the other part is to do something to try to shift your mindset so that you can take that step.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason I bring up like enhancing your weaknesses is I don't want people to get stifled and frozen, right, in that fear and not move their company along. So as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, your job is to identify those things and still keep everything moving forward, right? So,
that's right.
So even if it means just for a certain period of time that you have somebody do your videos, that's okay. That's okay.
That's okay because you're still moving it forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's your ultimate job, right? That's your ultimate position, is to move this thing forward, keep that momentum going, keep that churning, and then all of a sudden, and guess what? If you find out that you never want to be in front of the camera, that's okay. Because I never am going to sit there and blog. It's just not going to happen.
Well, we'll see, Dave, because I have talked some people into it. Because I love writing. You love video. You talked me into the video. Well, you didn't talk me into it, and I love writing. And so I do. So this is how I would walk someone through it. I would say, okay, look, I know you have something to say. I know writing's very scary. And why don't you just put it all down on paper and help you craft it? You don't have to worry, because I actually know how to help you, how to talk to audiences.
Yes. Yes.
And once I work with you and get your voice, then I can help you talk to your audience. Once I work with you and find out who's your audience, what do you want to say to them, I can help you, just like you had someone help you with your book.
Yeah.
And so I agree. If something's scary, I think it's really important to look at it. Why am I scared of this? Right? And what can I do about it? Can I have someone help me, coach me through it? Or can I hire someone to do it for me? Or can I work on shifting my mindset? Those are three good possibilities, but definitely, yes, keep moving forward. I agree.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And what I would say to you is, listen, that's awesome, and you can capture my flavor, right? I will send you videos and audios, as many as you want, and put them down on paper, and we're an awesome team. That's just and the reason too is because I know that I have so many different balls in the air that's going to be the most time effective for me as well, right?
Right.
And this is how I'm the most articulate. This is like, so it was when I did my book, I said to Kelly, I said, listen, I have two stipulations for the book. Like, I'm somebody who should have stipulations, right? Never had a book in my life. She goes, what are they? I said, I want to get the book done in a month. And it was silent, right? And and I said, it has to be my flavor. She says, well, that's my wheelhouse. We'll capture your flavor. She says, now 30 days we need to talk about. I said, Kelly, I'm a momentum guy, right? I will have a chapter to you every other night, and I'll work with my graphic designer, and we'll get that done. So 32 days we had it out there. But here's what's so cool. 3 weeks in, we get the first draft. She sends out to 5 of her people. Different emails, different people. They all came back with their feedback, and she calls me and she's laughing. She goes, "You're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" She goes, we got the feedback. I said, what was it? She goes, it was virtually the same thing, every person. She goes, we love the book. And the first chapter was so Jersey. I said, that a girl, you nailed it. So, again,
That's great. That is great.
yeah.
Yes.
So I love that. And for you to be able to do that, and she can do that, is such a gift for somebody like me. It is such a gift, right? It frees me up to really be me. And now you can now put that down on paper. Like, for coming from me, a person like me, and there's plenty of them out there, awesome gift. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, you're offering the same kind of gift, is helping. I think everyone has something to say, and I think that that everyone should seek out someone to help them to say it and to have their voice. And it's good. It's good self-care, and it's good for everyone who hears your story. You don't know who you're going to inspire. You inspire one person, and you help them on their path. Then that's huge, right?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Yep. I think it's awesome. So before we jump off, is there anything that you want to share that I didn't share, or anything you want to talk about?
I think we covered a lot. You're really good, and you're good at staying focused, and just knowing what you want your audience to hear. And yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, and I guess you'll share my website, right? epicnorthcounty.com.
Yes, and any social media platforms that you have. Just I think that did you fill out and put all that in your?
I think so.
Okay, so I'll make sure my VA, if he doesn't have it, he'll reach out to you. But yeah, we'll put it in the notes, and then we're also going to chop it up into 2-3 minute clips and get it out there on social media, and then you'll get alerted once it goes live on our YouTube channel. And would love to have you check it out and subscribe if you can. Love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'd love to get it out there. And I want to thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to, let's figure out how we'll get an article out there for me.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Hey, if you're getting value from this, which you definitely should be, because it's the real world stuff, go on to our YouTube, Brand Builder TV, subscribe, check us out, throw some likes, some comments, some questions, and we will definitely address them. And as always, we do it one way around here, Monster Motivator style, baby.